That just happened. Worst products ever. It snapped. This is one of those projects where when something bad happens, you can total your van. Hopefully next time you see this, our van isn't in a scrapyard. Do not buy your windows from Today we are doing probably one of the scariest parts of any van build, installing windows. I'm out here to a neighborhood where all the houses around us are for sale. Nobody lives in them, so we don't disturb them with.
Ready to get started?
I guess. We're also starting this at like 5 p.m. in the afternoon.
Yeah, it's kind of
And we're just hoping that we can get this done before nighttime so we don't just leave our van with a giant hole in it. Worst products ever. Anyways, without further ado, we can pop back into yesterday when we set up our template, and then I'll meet you guys back here in a second to make a giant hole in our van's wall.
So the first step of the install is to make a cardboard cutout of your window. We took off the internal clamp ring to get a stencil of the exact size of what we need to cut. We wrote facing out and facing in on either side to keep track of which side the cardboard is facing. We used this to work out where we wanted to place the window, which we decided the higher the better. On the inside of the van, we had to remove one of these metal support ribs on either side to make room for the window.
Wow, lazy paint job.
This won't be a problem structurally, as the window frame itself will add rigidity, and this support is not load bearing. Max and his dad used a oscillating saw to cut the spot welded tabs on the top and bottom of the rib, and then cut the glue with a utility knife and repeated this for both sides. After seeing the stencil on the wall, we decided we had to drop the windows down a couple of inches to allow room in the corners for our windows framing. Once we had our window level with the top beam, we traced it out with a Sharpie and surrounded it with masking tape and repeated this for both sides.
Once you have your template set up, the first step is probably the scariest one, and that is to drill a hole through your van to show yourself where that template's gonna line up on the other side.
We also made sure to cover as much of the space as we could with tape and garbage bags to protect from metal shavings that will rust in the long term.
So now that we have 2 holes in our template, we should be able to take this off and line it up with the other side. We can put a bit through here, we can put a screw through here. Also important to make sure you don't flip up which side this is. This whole process is also a lot easier if you have somebody helping you. Zoe is gonna put the drill bit through the hole so I can align the 2 holes. There you go. Okay, beauty. You're gonna take one measurement from this side up to this top beam, 4 1/4 inches. And then take another measurement here, which is actually also 4 1/4 inches. I guess it's level.
We trace the template out on the outside of the van, go nice and slow, and really get it right.
Now we can take our template off. And now we begin. Very scary part. You ready over there, B?
Yeah, ready.
Oh boy.
Cutting this hole would have been a lot easier with a ladder, but luckily Max is tall. This was a stressful cut, but overall not too difficult. Just make sure to use glasses as metal goes flying everywhere.
It looks great.
While Max cut, I watched the inside to make sure that they were lining up nicely.
Hey there. That just happened.
It's gonna look so pretty.
Wow. That's terrifying. I love the noise it makes though.
It looks beautiful.
It fits. Now it's time to deburr the edges so we don't cut ourselves on it while we're installing this.
Next up, we repeated these steps for the other side, and while we were tracing out the template, these girls came by to see what was going on and show us their cartwheels. We also let them draw on the van because what kid wouldn't want to do that, and we're cutting them off anyways.
Oh my goodness. Look at that.
After getting them to stay clear and their parents' permission, we cut out the side, which went well. But we do recommend finding a better way to hold the metal sheet as you're cutting it, as ours bent a little bit with the weight.
This is just a test.
Yeah!
Ta-da!
It fits.
It fits.
Now I gotta do an aerial.
After we confirmed the fit, we deburred and painted with Rust-Oleum and primer to prevent rust in the future.
These should be an ice cream cone.
What do you guys want? Chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry?
None. I want a popsicle.
A popsicle, we're all out of stock.
Oh, dang it.
Sorry.
Do you have
Nope.
slushies?
Nope.
Chocolate?
No.
Strawberry?
No.
Do you have mango?
I do have mango actually.
You do?
Here's your mango cone.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Whoa!
After waiting an hour or two and wiping down the edges with alcohol, it was time to install the windows, and this is where disaster began. If you're following along to do this yourself, don't worry, we'll share all the info on that in a minute or two. For now, enjoy the most stressful night of the van build so far.
What? How does this work? Like, what am I supposed to do? Okay, it's the most important bead of the whole van build.
And while Max was laying down the most important bead of the windshield adhesive to the window,
I think the caulking gun just broke.
how?
What time is it?
7:30.
What time does Lowe's open? Is Lowe's open till?
Yeah, so halfway through adding our adhesive, the caulking gun broke. Which little did we know was just the start of this crazy night. Max had a little bit of a mentee B, which is inevitable in a van build, but after some quick rethinking, Max rushed out to the local hardware store with some holes still cut in the van to buy a new one.
We have to run quick here. We're up against the clock. I've just ran to Rona as fast as possible. The problem is the glue that we just put on our window is drying, but my caulking gun just broke. So I have to buy a new caulking gun before that stuff dries, go back and keep on going.
30 minutes later, we were back at it, adding the windshield adhesive to the window before inserting it, but the stress was only just beginning.
Get in.
I have no idea.
Let's just press all around a little bit. Awesome job, okay? Great job, that worked out great. Not too much spillage.
The window fit awesome, like Max said.
My goodness, we have a window.
But it quickly became obvious that the internal frame that's supposed to clamp down on the window did not. And now here we are, I'm dying holding up a window, and Max is freaking out inside about a faulty frame.
I've never held my arms up for this long, I don't think, in my life.
Like, the frame does not fit. Do not buy your windows from Tech Van Life.
We will share more on that statement in a bit, but yeah, this was not good.
The problem is, like, I think we're hurting the seal by having it go off and on. That's where the metal's supposed to be. You see this side? That's what it's looking like. So it needs to pinch the metal. Can't look like this because then it will wobble.
Hammer? I don't know.
Literally the worst product I've ever seen.
We ended up holding the window like this for over an hour. We tried calling the seller, looking up everything possible, and the stress was as high as it can be, and things only kept getting worse.
Oh no.
What?
The black stuff is kind of everywhere all of a sudden.
And this was starting to look like we may have just ruined our van and effectively our life savings.
So here's the situation. The backing does not fit on this. We already had some issues previously with the company that we bought this from. We're actually gonna work with them. Tech Van Life is the one that supplied us with these. Put it in, and the backing does not fit. It doesn't sit flush. If you try and screw it in the screws broke, so they're obviously using just cheap crap screws. This is one of those projects where when something bad happens, you can total your van. Like, this could easily put our whole van into a scrapyard. Anyways, we're in a very stressful and crappy situation here. It's dark now. We're holding onto a window because we can't secure it, and we're just trying to let it cure so that hopefully it doesn't fall out on the highway tomorrow.
You didn't even say what happened to the other one.
Oh yeah, and the other one, this is the backing for the window that's supposed to go on, and when I tried to push it on, look what happened. It snapped. I tried to buy them because they were a good deal.
Now we regret it.
Lesson learned. I've been buying the expensive stuff for everything. I thought this one looked good quality.
Yeah, well, we
And
thought
it was
it
from
was like Tech Van Life.
It's a local company. Yeah, you'd expect it to be good. I didn't order it from China. Hopefully next time you see this, our van is in a scrapyard. Last night was probably one of the most stressful nights of the van build so far, minus maybe the van getting broken into and everything stolen. If you want to see more about that, click the video somewhere up here. I gave a long ranting speech about the company that supplied these windows last night, and I'll probably cut most of that out because it wasn't said very nicely. So to further clarify what exactly happened, we reached out to a company which is the only big local van life supplier here in Vancouver. They ended up being bad at communicating with us and setting up meetings, so we decided not to work with them for that reason and just to buy our van windows from them with our own money. We obviously wanted to work with the local van life supplier here in Vancouver, as we believe in supporting local and getting everything from as close of a source as you possibly can. And that is where all of our problems began. The box came damaged. There's like a hole in the box, which for windows is not a good thing. There's no stickers on this saying fragile. Next, as soon as we opened up the box, it became immediately obvious there's no instructions. We were also anticipating it coming with a gasket to go along the edges because that's what we've seen most people using online. So we reached out to ask them and they followed up and told us saying that no gasket was needed, and then they actually didn't respond immediately to the instructions thing, so I asked them again for some instructions and they gave us just the most basic like ChatGPT response on how to install a window. Absolutely no clarification. I will quote the email, and the instruction is secure the window. That's the instruction. But we trusted that that was it, and we followed those instructions last night, and sure enough, they didn't work, like at all. Needless to say, the experience with this company was really, really bad, and by no means can I recommend it, and I'm glad we didn't work with them. With whoever we're working for, we want to make sure that we're just promoting to you guys a company that we truly believe in. Now, we're going to use these windows because we bought them, and we have them, but I would strongly recommend, and this might be one of the only items in this van build that I recommend you do not follow us on. Failed to tell us that you have to pre-drill holes in each of these spots, and we thought we broke this last night. I think we actually fixed it. It's supposed to be broken like this.
Hey guys, I just had a wedding call, so I was late.
I've been ranting.
This situation is very unfortunate.
But we're gonna fix it this morning. So first step to fixing this is to actually drill highlighting holes where we should have before installing this, if we had not.
On day 2, we started drilling our pilot holes, which is scary to do on a window, and would have been great to know in that instruction manual. But despite the pilot holes, every screw we put in was still breaking. It seems like the screws they gave us were made out of butter. They were so soft.
Screw broke. The screws broke 5 times. I'm going to the store. I hope this window doesn't fall out as we drive.
Okay, we've gone to Rona to pick up some more screws, and we are going to test it in the van before we drive home to see if they actually work.
This is the one that keeps on stripping the screws. Oh my gosh.
It goes in?
Way easier.
Okay, so it was a screw problem.
Yeah. Okay. Let's head home.
So yeah, it turns out the cheap screws they include in the box were a huge problem. And we really wish we just would have spent the extra $5 on better screws. But anyways, time to install the second window with this newfound wisdom. We pre-drilled our holes, added the glue, and I held the window for what felt like forever. But way less time than last night as Max screwed in the back of the frame. And voila, that went way better. And I gotta say, it looks so good. But just when we thought this nightmare was over...
Well...
We've got a leak.
A leak. No bueno.
Yeah, so I think we can assume that that was a less than ideal install. But Max jumped into action and added another layer of sealant around the edges, masking it with electrical tape to get nice rounded lines. He then squeezed the glue into the gap itself, followed by running his finger around the edge to make sure every spot was even. This was extra work, but it made the window look really clean and professional. This will add that extra layer of barrier of protection for water going forward. And we can say for certain that there are no more leaks, as it's actually been a few months since finishing this up. And that's the end of this episode. And if you made it to the end of the video, comment no leaks in 2025 so we know you're a real one. If you want to see more frequent updates on the build, go follow our Instagrams.